what is going on there with Liverpool? I mean, all of a sudden, they were champions last season. They were breaking every record there was available to break. And I look at them, not in the top 4, struggling for form, just gone out the FA Cup. I mean, what's happened?
It's a very, very strange one. Like you said, it's a ridiculously strange season. We've spoken about this before. I think everyone has. Everyone's spoken how crazy this season is. And we never thought when they beat Palace 7-0 that they wouldn't have won a game after that. Drew and lost to teams that they should be convincingly beaten. Today was a good game, actually. Apart from the performances of late for them have been flat. Apart from today, I felt it was a good cup tie today. But the performance has been flat, and I just feel the way they play, the pace that Liverpool play at, and they have done the last 2 years, I think it's catching up with them. You know, they've had injuries. Van Dijk is a big miss. Let's not forget that. He is a massive miss, and he would be for anyone. But just the way they play, I think, is catching up with them, and I think they look tired. And we've not said that really before. It's a blip. But it's come at a really poor time. With the game's coming thick and fast. These are the times around the Christmas period that can make and break seasons for teams, and it seems to have a negative effect for Liverpool.
Is that with Firmino? We know that he's a very, very good footballer. We all know that. But as a centre forward, as you've just alluded to there, you've got to score a fair share of goals. But at the minute, he seems to not score at all. Well, we asked about Liverpool and what exactly is going on. David, who's a Liverpool fan, he's called in. David, I guess, what did you make of the performance today?
Well, I mean, it was marginally better because Liverpool scored, and Mo Salah's a good player, and he scored the goals but it wasn't enough. And I think one of the main reasons why was because, for some peculiar reason, Jurgen Klopp decided to leave Sadio Mane, who was Liverpool's best and fastest and speediest, paciest player, on the bench. I mean, when I heard that he picked Curtis Jones in the forward position and left Mane on the bench, I could not believe that. Again, Jurgen Klopp has missed the trick. You start with your strongest 11, and then if you score a few goals, then you can take off your best players and defend, although Liverpool can't do that either. But to not start with Mane, and he wasn't injured, You've got to play Mane, Firmino and Salah. You can't leave one of them on the bench if you're playing against Manchester United.
He kind of never, David, he never really takes the FA Cup too seriously, does he, Jurgen Klopp?
Never.
I think today's kind of a stronger team than I thought he would put out. Do you think that's because it was against Man United?
Well, yes, but if you're going to go for it completely. Don't leave players on the bench who should be playing.
David, though, sorry to interrupt you there, but you look at Man United, though, they left Bruno on the bench.
Yeah, I know, but... Well, I mean, he did change the game and scored that free kick. But Liverpool were on top at points in that match. And if Mane was playing at that time, because they brought him on too late, he always brings him on too late, and it's too late then. He thought, I will leave it till it's time to play penalties or extra time. No. If you've got a fast player on the pitch, you bring him on. I don't know why Curtis Jones was playing in that position, and I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, without Henderson, they haven't even got a captain, they haven't got a leader, and I hope Henderson comes back soon. But there's about 7 days to go until the transfer window's over. Look, Jurgen Klopp says this is out of his hands to buy another defender. They've got to. Do the owners, the American owners, care more about American sport or British? If they care about the club that they are funding, get some money out, because the Americans have got some money, and buy a defender, because Van Dijk is not going to come back before the end of the season, and Liverpool are leaking goals. And they'll have another 7-2 shocker if they continue like that. They've got to bring in a defender. They've made money out of the Champions League. Use that money to buy a defender. But at the moment, they're leaking goals, and until they stop leaking goals, they will continue to drop down the league.
I want to pick up on 2 points you made there. One about Sadio Mane. Correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't Sadio Mane played in the last 4 games when you've failed to score a goal? So I don't think he's exactly justified his place in the team in recent weeks. And secondly, the point you're making about the owners, we know historically that your owners are not big spenders. Yes, they spent a lot of money on Virgil van Dijk at the time, but I think you have to give Jurgen Klopp credit in some ways. He hasn't had the financial muscle and the resource that, say, Pep Guardiola has had at Manchester City. The fact that he managed to overhaul Manchester City last season, win the Premier League, he's won a Champions League, I think you're being a bit harsh.
Yeah, but you've got to strengthen. every season. This
But
is
your owners don't spend money.
But I mean, they could sell some players. I mean, like Shaqiri, Origi. They're not good anymore. Sell them. Bring in new players with that money because people. I mean, Shaqiri will be sold. I mean, 20, 30 million, and he must be worth. And Origi must be worth about 10 million. You can get a defender for that, and if you can't get a defender for that, go to the bottom leagues, go to even the Nation League. Go to the other leagues and get defenders. They are out there. You've got to just get your scouts to get them. But if Liverpool continue with this defence, they are going to drop down into Europa League position. The West, they've got Spurs on Thursday night. I think they're going to lose. Kane and Son will have a field day
they're playing really well. I mean, Dave, you could tell that he's obviously not happy. I do think the centre-back is an issue.
I do, but you look at their goals against. Only Man City have conceded less, and if you take away the 7-2, they'd have the least amount of goals conceded. So yeah, they're starting to leak goals, but it's not really an issue. It's the sheer presence of Van Dijk and what he brings to the team as a leader what they're missing, as opposed to they're conceding too many, because they're not conceding too many.